It's a pleasure to be with you today to talk about the MBA Shingo Leadership and Enterprise Excellence degree. This degree is offered as a collaboration. It's a collaboration between the Shingo Institute, the Jon M. Huntsman School of Business, and UACPA, the Utah Association of Certified Public Accountants. They're one of our sponsoring organizations. A lot of work has gone into this degree. A lot of analysis has gone into this degree. It is unique in the market. The value proposition for this degree stands out. When it comes to MBA degrees nationally, they're being challenged. The reality of the MBA degree nationally is this. There are over 1,000 programs that are graduating over 150,000 MBAs every year. That's 25% of all master's degrees are MBAs. And I've got to tell you, the value proposition for an MBA in today's corporate environment isn't what it used to be. You know, when the MBA first came out, they were very, very valued. Oh, everybody wanted an MBA. And corporations wanted to hire MBAs. I can remember when I first started teaching MBA programs, 20 plus years ago, my students would get a signing bonus if they would please take the job at a company. It's not that way anymore. The market is flooded with people with MBA degrees. Over 150,000 MBAs, new MBAs every year. The market doesn't look at them the same. There's just too many of them. And the generalist MBA degree has been challenged. Not only the content of the degree, but the way we teach that degree has been challenged. There have been books that have been written. There have been articles that have been written challenging that MBA degree. Here's a couple examples. This first one is written by Henry Mintzberg. Henry comes out of Canada, McGill University, and he wrote a book, Managers, Not MBAs. And he criticizes the MBA for becoming too theoretical and not applied enough, not experiential enough. He says the approach that is used by and taught in MBA programs does not create the leadership and the type of business people that the world needs. Highly critical of MBA programs and the pedagogy of those programs. Another book is Rethinking the MBA. And in this book, it's business education at a crossroads. And basically is what they're saying is the world changed, the corporate environment changed, the business skills and tools needed it's changed, but business education did not change. It criticized the fact, the way that the MBA program is structured, the tools that are being taught, the approach to education was challenged. And these authors basically sat back and said, you know what? It's time to rethink the MBA. One of my favorite books is Snapshots from Hell, The Making of an MBA. And in this one, Peter Robinson, who was a speechwriter for the President of the United States, President Reagan, went back for an MBA at Stanford University and wrote his experiences from the perspective of a student on the MBA and what that process was for him. The bottom line is that there's a lot of programs out there graduating a lot of students. And the thing that I've come to realize over the past several years is we just simply can't offer classes as usual. We've got to rethink the way we design the program. And I can promise you with the Shingo MBA, that redesign, that rethinking has taken place. And what we're offering is a degree that is absolutely relevant. We overcome some of the criticism, and this is some of the recent criticism I found just browsing the web. Why MBA programs don't produce leaders. Is an MBA still necessary? 5 hard truths about the MBA. Money Watch. They said that the return on investment for an MBA simply isn't worth it. And MBA programs propagate fads and so forth. The bottom line is this Shingo MBA that we have designed really, really, truly overcomes the criticism that we're seeing in the press regarding the MBA programs, the standard practice for MBA. The reality of the MBA nationally, most programs require that minimum of 4 years business experience. The bottom line is most quality program requires significant leadership experience. And certainly for the Shingo MBA, we're going to be requiring that as well. And I'll share that with you in a second. Down here. Okay. The other characteristics of most programs nationally is they require that graduate management admissions test, the GMAT, of an average of 620. Most high-quality programs now are requiring some internship or experiential education in the program. And you're going to see that in the Shingo program as well, that we're going to value that experiential exercise, that experiential experience. We find that not only learning the tools, learning the concepts, but applying those concepts and then questioning not only the tool, but the application of that tool is absolutely critical to the successful education. The MBA value proposition, what is the value in today's MBA in the market? It all depends on the program's design. The traditional broad-brushed MBA simply doesn't have the value proposition that it once had. What we're seeing is that programs that add value have really strong specialization. Whether that specialization is in finance or marketing or accounting or market analytics, the strongest MBA programs now have that value proposition. They have the broad-based learning, but they also have that unique secret sauce that they can bring into the market. Now, what we have is very, very special. It is the Shingo education that we build onto that foundation of that broad breadth business education. And with that marriage between the two, that Shingo MBA value proposition is powerful. That's the thing that sets us apart from the market. The traditional MBA just has lost its cachet, its market value. It just doesn't have what it used to have. Ours, with the Shingo value proposition, has huge market value. The facts about the Shingo MBA, it is ACSB internationally accredited, which is a big deal. It's got the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. It is a 15-month program that will begin this coming October and will conclude a year from December of 2016. So it is a very intense, just over 1 year program. We are targeting executive level professional students. We want people to bring their experience into the classroom. Now, I can tell you from my own personal experience, and this is why I prefer, I'm a little biased to executive education, because a lot of the value, when you get executives in there, the exchange and the challenging each other, it's more than networking. It's that in-class experience that just enriches the overall classroom and educational experience. To be admitted to the program, we require a minimum 3.0 grade point average in your undergraduate degree, 3.0 or higher. We also require 6 years of managerial leadership experience. Now, it doesn't mean you need to be the CEO, but you need to show that you've got some leadership experience, that you've got that experience behind you. It can be in operations, it can be in accounting, it can be in quality, it can be in anything, but you've got to show managerial leadership experience. That means 6 years out of your undergrad, okay? The class is a unique design. It will meet monthly in face-to-face sessions in downtown Salt Lake City. We chose Salt Lake City because we know that some of you will fly in for those monthly meetings. The meetings will be, and I'll show you in a slide here in a few minutes, will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday once a month, and it is literally right downtown, and it's in the Kearns building. Now, I told you how the UACPA is our partner. It's in their suite of offices, and they have a conference room in there capable of holding 35 to 40 students in the class. And that's the address of the building, and it's right downtown. There is a track, the public transportation drops you off right in front of that building and it's direct from the airport, so it's very easy. But monthly meetings in downtown Salt Lake. Now, between the meetings, there can be webinars, there might be online lectures that you'll have to watch, there'll be group meetings, but as far as formal instruction, once a month, downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Very easy to get in and out. It's a Delta airline hub. It's a very easy, convenient airport. Now, I can tell you, the faculty for this program is extraordinary. This is some of the faculty, not all of them, but some of the faculty. We have hand-picked the faculty that will participate in this program. They all have executive education experience. They all have phenomenal background. Most of them are award-winning teachers. Some of these people that you see in front of you, they come from everywhere. Some of them are award-winning teachers from Thunderbird University. We hired them to teach in this program. Some from Baylor University, Oklahoma State. We've hired one away from a university in Denmark, so we can bring in international operations experience to the table. We have here a phenomenal, hand-picked faculty. This is not your ordinary, just standard faculty. Some of these faculty we will fly in, especially to teach in this program. You're getting the cutting-edge knowledge. People that have taught executives, that many of them have consultation experience and have worked in industry, and they will bring that into the classroom. This is an extraordinary faculty. As I've said, facts continued. We will meet monthly. It will meet Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And what I've found in my own experience, many MBA programs, the best MBA programs in the world when it comes to executive education, have moved to this design. Primarily because executives can get away from work, but 2 days a week, 1 week-long weekend a month. They have a much more difficult time getting away from work more than that. But once a month, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, most executives can get away. I've taught executive MBA programs where I've had people that have flown in from Taiwan for that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday once a month. And for that slightly over a year, they can pull that off. But it's a intensive, face-to-face, 3-day, in-residence session. And like I say, in between, there'll be webinars. Some of the professors will hold those webinars, or they will record sessions you can watch on your own time. Teams will work together on projects during that in-between time, okay? The cost of the program is $45,500, which, if you look at executive programs nationally, extremely affordable. The price point is right. That $45,500 includes all of the tuition you will be responsible for, all of the fees. It will cover all of your books and materials. During the in-campus time, that residence time, that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it will cover breakfasts and lunches. It won't cover dinner. It won't cover your housing while you're here in Salt Lake. We're working on trying to develop some partners so you can get a discounted rate for that. But the $45,500 will only include breakfasts and lunches. Okay? The application deadline will be the 15th of August, 2015. And applications, you can begin to do that now. But the deadline will be 15th of August. We're looking at a class that will be ideally 35 to 40, and it will be extremely competitive to get into this first class. We've had almost 100 people expressed interest, and we haven't done a lot of marketing. And so we're going to be fairly selective this first class, so the earlier you get in, the better. But we want a very high power first class, and like I say, 35 to 40 students in that class. We are looking for applicants that have a demonstrated proficiency in accounting, finance, marketing, and Excel. Now, most of you in your work experience, and if you've got 6 years work experience, you probably have enough experience in accounting, finance, marketing, and Excel. However, if you have that functional expertise where you've had a leadership role in a functional area that you didn't have a lot of contact with accounting, we have ways of building your acumen so that you'll be prepared for that first day of class. And we can explain how to do that and how to build that acumen. But you've got to have some demonstrated experience. Otherwise, that first class or two, you're going to kind of struggle. It'll be a challenge for you. We've worked with the graduate school at Utah State University to have the GMAT, GRE, the MAT, the qualifying exam waived if you have 6 years experience. And so if you have that 6 years experience, we're able to waive the admissions test that you typically see with a lot of programs. Now, if you don't have that 6 years experience, we may require one of those tests to make sure that you have the background you need, the leadership background and the knowledge background you need for the program. But with 6 years experience, we're able to waive that admissions test. Now, as far as the program is concerned, the design of the program is unique. It's phenomenal. I can tell you, we have done our work. We have benchmarked the best programs nationally, and I mean the best programs internationally. And it's what we've done is we have done the research to find out what the essence, the core knowledge required of any MBA program. And it's what we've concluded is that there's 18 credit hours that most every executive program is core to that program. And so we have those 18 hours listed here. And it's going to deal with accounting and finance and groups and individuals, a little bit of HR, human resources in there. It's going to deal with marketing and branding. You're going to get some supply chain in there. And then you're going to have an advanced strategy class. But for this program, we've really accentuated the Shingo part of the program. And we have created 17 hours, 17 credits that are specific to the Shingo specialization. And so we will take a deep dive into continuous improvement in the lean environment, leadership and human capital in the lean environment, management in the lean environment, supply chain, measurement and reporting, quality systems, work systems, and the Shingo model itself, all in this lean environment. And so we take a real deep dive into Shingo and that lean environment, operations excellence. And so at the end of the day, we have that broad base, core to every MBA, with a real deep dive in Shingo. So at the end, you not only graduate with that MBA, but you graduate with Shingo specialization and certification. Now, in the remaining 35 minutes, and we have a hard stop at 1 hour, and I've gone on for about 25 minutes now, What we're going to do now is break this open to a question and answer. With me, I have three people. I have Kathy McConkey. Kathy McConkey is my associate director over the MBA program at Utah State University. I don't think there's a person more knowledgeable about the MBA than Kathy McConkey. She's literally my right arm. She is the details, and she's phenomenal. She's great. She really knows her game. We also have Ken Snyder. Ken Snyder is also expert. He's got an MBA from Harvard University. He's a Shingo examiner and is the associate dean of the Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. Ken has a specialization in marketing, in finance, and being a Shingo examiner, he's got operations. He's the whole game, and he'll be teaching at least one of our classes in the program. We also have Sean Barker. Sean works with the Shingo Institute. He's the director of operations. Obviously, he gets Shingo. He gets operations, and he's played a real role in the design of the specialization. He will also be working with at least one of the classes, but with the overall operations of the program and design of the program. Now, the four of us will be answering your questions. And what will happen is you will write your question in. I'm going to have Dominique read your question, and then I'm going to turn to my team and have them answer your question. Now, obviously, in the 30 minutes we have left, we're not going to have nearly enough time to answer your questions. And so I've got a slide here with contact information. The MBA office, that's the room number if you're able to come in. But if you're not, there's the telephone number, the fax number, the email address to rifle questions our way. I also have a web page that gives the brochure for this program. And we'll make sure that you can get any question you have answered. It will also give the details on how to apply for the program. So with that then, is what I'd like to do is turn the floor now over to you and my team to answer any questions you have. So with that, Dominique, go ahead and read the first question and let's start answering some questions.
Okay. I had Ahmed email me a set of questions. Ahmed would like us to talk about the Shingo MBA in regard to the healthcare industry. You know, he would like to know, have a little bit of an idea in general terms what the ROI might be if he's working in a healthcare institution. You know, what areas of healthcare might the Shingo model be best suited for, that sort of thing. Can you talk about that?
Microphone's on, right? Okay, so we have a lot of people within the Shingo network that work in healthcare. We have a number of healthcare institutions that are engaged in organizational excellence, enterprise excellence. In healthcare, there's a couple of different approaches that different organizations have taken. Some have focused on the therapeutic side, some have focused on the healthcare side, some have focused on the administrative and operational side. But all of those, it's a movement within the healthcare industry where there is a lot of interest, a lot of growth, a lot of things happening, and it will be part of our curriculum as we teach this. We won't be focusing just on manufacturing. There's lots of different industries where the curriculum will focus on. Manufacturing will be part of it, but so will healthcare, so will finance, and so on.
And certainly any of the implementation or projects that they're working on would focus in their area. So
right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we might even touch on not-for-profits as well. in this process. So it's going to cut across to all industries. And honestly, in the class, the case of analysis will be your industry, your companies, and that's the discussion in the class.
And one of the things that we will do as part of the Shingo Model Practicum class, that class is actually going to run for 8 months, from April 2016 to December of 2016, and you will be working on a project for your company. And so it will be very specific in that realm, in your area, and you'll be able to draw upon the expertise of people in your class, but also a lot of the experts who will be teaching in the program.
Terrific. I've got a question from Jonathan. He mentions how during the presentation, Jim, you mentioned that students will need to demonstrate proficiency in areas like finance, Excel, marketing. In what ways do they demonstrate that proficiency?
I think I can tackle that one. What we've got is we have a series of prep courses, and this in the prep courses, which is included in the cost of the program, we have assessments. And so students who have perhaps already taken the courses in their undergraduate programs, that requirement is already fulfilled. If you have not taken those courses, but you have the proficiency, you can simply go into the program or into that course and take the assessment test, and that solves the problem. You need to provide proficiency at 80%. If you don't pass at 80%, we have modules that will help you to learn and then be able to take the assessment test again. So it's very simple. It's not a full-length course, but rather what we feel like you need to know in accounting, in finance, in Excel, and in marketing in order to be successful in the program.
Terrific. Joe asks, can you provide some context for the Shingo Model Practicum and any commitments required from the student's sponsoring organization?
I don't think there's any commitment from the student sponsoring organization.
What we would recommend is that each of the students find a project to work on during the course of the MBA program. It's best if they are able to select something that is relevant to their work experience and their work assignments. If they are able to get their sponsoring organization or their workplace to participate in that, that's great, but it is not required.
The thing that I found with executive MBAs, if they can bring their company into the classroom, and it's not a confidentiality issue, it becomes their project, their case, then not only is it value added for the student, but there's huge value added for the company, because the company's making a bit of a sacrifice as well in having you guys come to the program for a couple of days. There's give back to the company. It's kind of funny because I'll tell you, when I teach my executive MBA strategy class, my secret goal for every one of my students is to either get a significant pay raise or promotion as a result of my class. And that's my goal. And I know if I have significant value proposition for the company and the student, that happens.
As we have had students bring company-based projects into the classroom, I've never experienced any issues whatsoever with the companies saying no.
Same here.
Well, the benefit for the company is that they get some free consultation, and they actually can, and because we've got the practicum course over such a long period of time, that we hope that they would be able to see a true benefit and maybe some cost savings coming out of those projects.
Great. Here's a quick but important question from Marco in Brazil. He asks, is it mandatory to be in on the monthly face-to-face classes?
At this point, we've talked about other methods of delivery, but at this point, we are going to start our first program with face-to-face classes. We understand that there might be a month or two, but where it would be difficult to attend, and we will work with students on an individual basis. But at this point, it is required that students be in attendance for that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday monthly course.
Sometime down in the future, we've been talking about other delivery methods, but right now this is the design. As we put this program into operation, we feel like it's the way we need to go for now. In the future, we may consider other modes of delivery, but right now this is what we've got.
Okay, great. One other question from Jonathan. He'd like to know if there's a breakdown available on the costs, and the reason he asks that is because he would like to know what his company might pay for versus his out-of-pocket.
I can answer that question. It's a question I get quite often. The cost breakdown for the program, 35 credits, it's $1,300 per credit. So depending on how many credits you take per semester, that's what the out-of-pocket, that's what it would cost. For example, during the first semester, you would be signing up for 9 credits. And at $1,300, you can do the math. And you will have 4 semesters. So you'll be fall 2015, you'll be spring 2016, summer 2016, and fall 2016. So the cost will be spread out across 2 calendar years, although one semester is, it's only one semester in 2015, but it will be spread out across 4 semesters, and it will be spread out depending on the number of credits that you take that semester. And I hope that helps. It depends on how much your company reimburses for tuition on a calendar year, or maybe it's a fiscal year.
Great. Eric has a question on the content of the program. He would like to know what is the rough percentage breakdown of lean leadership versus more technical workflow mechanics and issues like that.
So we have built a module into each of the core MBA classes that will focus on lean. So let me just give an example. There is a concept in accounting of lean accounting, which some of you are probably familiar with. It takes a different approach of looking at accounting and how accounting can support lean activities no matter what industry you happen to be in. And we have asked each of the faculty to be ready to talk to that aspect of it, as well as giving a traditional MBA approach to accounting or finance or marketing or whatever it may be. So the faculty members will be conversant in lean. They will be conversant in the lean aspect of each of their particular topics that they'll be teaching. But we'll also be able to bring it all together in the Shingo practicum course at the end, which will be a capstone course in essence. It covers a long period of time, but it will also go all the way through the end of the program. So it'll be part of the overall capstone and bring things together.
Terrific. Can you speak, you've done this a little bit, but can you speak to the level of rigor of the program?
It's an executive MBA program. It's going to be demanding. And I can tell you, for that year, a little over a year, you're going to be busy. It is very rigorous. In between class sessions, it's not like you're going to be able to put your feet up. You're going to have projects to work on. You'll have team projects to work on, individual projects to work on. So
there'll be some online work.
There'll be some online work. Yeah. So during the course of the program, it's got to be a priority for you. one thing I understand is that an executive MBA program, you've got jobs, you've got families, you've got social activities, you have, in some cases, church activities. You're all busy, and we get that. But this is an executive MBA program. And so during that program, it's going to become really one of your central activities during that program. It's going to be demanding. Yeah, you'll be putting in some long hours.
I do think that it's doable. We've offered distance MBA programs for many years, and our programs are successful. We have low attrition rates and high graduation rates, and so it is something that is doable. The online component, we haven't talked about that a whole lot, but in between classes, we will be using a learning management system called Canvas, and it's very user-friendly. It will help and assist you to access information, read articles, do discussion boards with your cohort, be able to communicate well, and so it's school. There will be homework.
Let me add one more thing. The design of the program, we tried to position the classes so that you didn't get killed, for example, with finance and accounting during one 3-month block in which if you're not an accounting and finance person, it doesn't kill you. We've mixed it up so that there's what we typically call that soft managerial skill along with the quantitative. So a little bit of quantitative and qualitative. We've mixed it up so that your entire brain, right brain and left brain, gets utilized during that period, and we don't burn you out. Kathy's right. We've made it so it's manageable, but you will learn how to study. You will learn how to work on a team effectively. You'll learn how to trust your classmates so that you can study effectively, and you can manage it. You can manage your time.
Terrific. Charles has a question regarding the ongoing development of the program, and he asks, do you plan on utilizing the PDSA cycle to make continuous improvements to the MBA program, and can you explain that process within this particular context?
So let me take that one. I assume he means a PDCA cycle, and that's just a typo. But in academia, we are at least in the Huntsman School, we are very committed to continuous improvement. We don't use a formalized PDCA cycle, but we do have, it's probably closer to the way the military does it, where there's an after-action report. We get together as a faculty to discuss how the program is going. Are we able to accomplish the learning objectives that we set at the beginning? Have we been able to measure that appropriately? We also, as individual faculty members, review our courses, and this is part of the discipline that we all engage in. How can I improve my course for the students that are in my course? But we also do it as a program together, and we talk about it. So there is an after action. There is also a list of things we can do to better integrate, to better achieve the learning objectives, to modify the learning objectives. But we are constantly in a continuous improvement mode.
That's absolutely right. And not only that, but you're going to see my face. I'm the director of the MBA program, and Kathy, associate director. Steve Lethwich over here, he's a program manager in the MBA program. The three of us will be there. We're going to be talking to students in between classes, before classes, and doing quality assurance throughout. Absolutely. We want to make sure that this is a good experience, and we will make modifications throughout, and that's just part of any good program.
And we will ask for feedback continually from the students, both formally and informally. We will have course evaluations on both the courses, but also the delivery of the program and how it's working.
It's important to get that feedback, especially the first time through and the second time through.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
Great.
We're looking forward to that.
And not only that, but real quick, if there's content that you're not getting, that you're saying, man, I want to learn a little bit more about this, boy, we need to know that and incorporate it in some way, shape, or form in the classes or during break or a symposium or something. We'll be bringing guest speakers in, and that'll be guided somewhat by you and where your interests are and the direction you want to go, as well as our own individual professional networks.
And that's what we've found is that students will often wait until it's too late. They will wait until the class is over before they give feedback. And we prefer that someone jump in and let us know right at the beginning so that we can address those issues and solve problems. Much easier to have satisfied customers if we know if needs aren't being met.
Great. Joe would like to know, have any of the faculty members in the program been senior leaders at organizations that have been awarded the Shingo Prize for Operational Excellence?
We have several people who are faculty members who have been active implementers of Shingo principles. I don't think we have any of the faculty members who have ever been a Shingo Award winner. We do have guests that we have set up that will be Shingo Award winners. We also have some case studies that have been built around Shingo Award winners, and we'll be bringing people into the classroom from the Shingo Award winning organizations.
We also have some that have worked with Shingo Award winning.
Yes, consultants, that's true. Some of the faculty members, have been consultants with Shingo Award winning companies.
Okay, great. Eric is fairly confident in his abilities for leading people. He's already leading people. What he would like to know is he's more interested in mastering the ability to make work flow through any type of organization. Would he be better off doing this program or getting a master's in industrial engineering?
I'll tackle that one too.
Okay.
So we've built the curriculum so that people who have a strong background in Lean, for example, meaning the tools and systems of Lean, will be able to learn things, but mostly they will learn how to lead people, how to build culture, and so on. We've also built this program so that people who have a background in leading people but don't understand the Lean tools and systems very well will get a great education in what those Lean tools and systems are. And we'd love to have people from both sides of that together in the classroom because they can learn from each other about how to lead people within a Lean environment or how to implement the Lean tools and systems when you already have the managing people skills.
Yeah, I'd like to accentuate that word that Ken was using, systems. You know, those tools or that specialization, that competency has to fit within a system. And I think that's what this program is set up for. You're going to get the depth. You're going to get exactly what you're asking for. But you're not only going to get that, but you're going to see how that fits within the overall system. And that is real value add.
Excellent. Could you say again how long the total time to completion is for the Shingo MBA program?
Kathy?
The program starts in October of 2015, and it will conclude in December of 2016. So it is 15 months. The application process really is not going to be a very onerous thing. We do go through the School of Graduate Studies, and the deadline, we would like to have the application in by the 15th of August. And that allows us enough time to process the paperwork, get materials out to the students, because as we noted, all books and materials will be provided to the students, and we need to have time to make sure that students have that so that they can be prepared for class when we meet in October. So again, 15 months, the deadline for application, the 15th of August. We will work with students past that deadline as far as letters of recommendation go, transcripts, but we need to make sure that application is in. With the waiver of the entrance exam, the GMAT, it does simplify with of course appropriate leadership experience. It does simplify the application process a lot. Sean wishes they had done that back in his day.
Terrific. Ahmed, now remember, he's working in the healthcare field. He would like to know what makes the Shingo MBA a better solution than other accreditations out there.
I can tell you, this is something that I've spent a lot of time on, and like I say, I've literally taught in MBA programs all over the world, a lot in South America and Europe and Latin America and all over the United States. And those that I haven't taught in, I've benchmarked. The typical MBA program basically takes the functional areas of business and considers them individually. And then at the end of the program, and the typical executive MBA program is 2 years, at the end of the program they have a strategy class, a corporate strategy class, that magically tries to piece all of those functional areas together into a system, a corporate system. It's typically very case-oriented, and the cases are printed cases that you read about a business, and then you study that, and then you evaluate and discuss it as a class on what you would do if you were in that business. Now, the Shingo MBA program is a little bit different, because you're still going to get that broad-based skill, and you're still going to get that strategy class. It's going to be a system strategy class. But what we're going to do is take that deep dive into that lean environment. The case of analysis throughout the entire program, throughout the entire 15 months, will be your organizations, your projects. It will be extremely applied. It's what we call experiential education. Okay? Not only that, but we have the Shingo brand. We have the Shingo principles. We have the Shingo concepts. We've got the Shingo models. And that's unique. There's no other program in the world that has what we're offering here. And so you have that specialization, that accreditation, that certification that comes with Shingo, along with that broad-based business that you get from, like you put it, the typical accredited MBA program. I would like to think of it as the MBA on steroids. They're Shingo steroids. And so you're going to walk out with something special, a real market value proposition, rather than just saying, I've got an MBA.
And that's one thing that we did not touch on, is that there is currently in the Shingo Institute their executive education workshops. It's a series of 4 workshops that students can take through their affiliates, and so we have built that certification into our MBA program. In the Shingo Model Practicum, you will actually go through that series of 4 workshops. And so when you finish with the Shingo MBA, not only will you have an AACSB accredited MBA, but you will also have that Shingo certification.
Yep.
Great. Looks like we have just a few minutes left, and we have answered all the questions that people have posted so far. Are there any areas you'd like to reiterate?
I would like to encourage you to connect with us soon, okay? Like I said, we've had well over 100 people with very little marketing express interest in the 35 to 40 student slots that we have available. So connect with us soon and get that application in so that you can be a part of this initial class. I can tell you, you will not be disappointed. It is going to be an extraordinary learning experience. And speaking from a professor's perspective, I'm charged to work with this group. It's rewarding as a professor to work with the type of people we want to bring into this program. the exchange and the discussion and the analysis, and it is such a charged experience. I personally look forward to that classroom experience. Anything else?
I agree. I'm looking forward to it too.
You got a question up there?
No, there's a question.
We have enough
All right.
questions. Go ahead, Don.
Oh, here we go. Thank you. How important is the 6 years of leadership experience? That's from Joe.
What we're looking for in that leadership experience is breadth, application of knowledge. We're looking at what we find is that folks that come directly from an undergraduate experience without that managerial leadership experience, they understand concepts, but not necessarily application of concepts. And simply knowing the book knowledge, we find isn't typically enough. So what we've got is this. We take a look at you and your background and experience. Once in a while, we'll get that person that has less than 6 years, but they have phenomenal, in-depth, extraordinary experience. They're not out of the game, but we may have to require them to take the admissions test to satisfy the graduate school to get them into the program. And we'll look at each case on a case-by-case experience. So, for example, if you bring some extraordinary experience and can really sell that depth and breadth of experience, you're not out of the game. We will consider you. But typically the rule of thumb is at 6 years. Kathy, would you agree with that?
I would. One thing I did want to add is that Jim had said contact our office. Our office is always ready on an individual basis to provide information to you, and I personally will be talking to many, many people and would love to help you to expedite your application, answer any questions that you have, and we're here and ready to help.
When you call in, you'll likely speak with Kathy or Steve Leftwich here. That's going to be your point of contact. Occasionally you'll talk to me, but typically those will be your 2 points of contact. And they're extraordinary. They'll hold your hand all the way through the process and answer any questions. Any doubts, those are your 2 people.
Yeah, we've been already helping people with the application process. So it's not hard, it's not rocket science, and it's actually pretty easy.
Terrific. We'll have the contact information on the screen for the next few minutes for those of you who want to copy that down. Also, we will email the slides to all of our registrants, and just wanted to reiterate that the application deadline for this year's Shingo MBA group is August 15th. I should mention once again, the Shingo MBA is sponsored in Salt Lake City by UACPA. Please be sure to share what you've learned today with friends and colleagues whom you think might benefit from it. Thanks so much for joining us today, and on behalf of the Shingo Institute and the Jon M. Huntsman School of Business, I wish you all a great day.